Yo, today will be another Toho monster movie review. This time, the 1958 Toho classic, Varan the Unbelievable. Or as they call it in Japan, Daikaiju Baron, which roughly translates to Giant Monster Varan. Originally, Varan the Unbelievable was going to be a three-part made-for-television movie, with the help of an American production company, after Rodan did bank at the box office. However, that American studio decided to back out at the very last minute during filming, so Toho said, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own movie, with blackjack and hookers, and proceeded to turn it into a feature-length film. However, that was a bad decision. The film was in black and white because, again, it was made for television. It was not meant to be a feature-length movie originally. So that is why, unlike Rodan, this thing is in black and white, because it was not meant to be shown in the cinema. It was meant to be shown on a tiny little screen in your living room. This movie, much like Rodan and Godzilla before it, was directed by Ishiro Honda with music done by Akira Ifakube. The title monster was once again played by Haru Nakajima and Katsumi Tezuka. We'll be looking at the 2007 Tokyo Shock DVD release of this movie, which has some fun little special features, such as a lecture from Keizo Murasa, the creature sculptor of Varan, and it goes over, well, how Varan was made. It's really interesting. I would highly recommend it if you can get your hands on this copy of the movie. I don't know if it's on later releases, and I don't think it is, unfortunately. At least the Blu-ray release that I've seen does not have it. Well, let's dive into this bastard, shall we? I think we will. Yep, we will. 100%. We're gonna dive right into it. Dive into it like a fish. This was a dumb bit. The movie opens with credits and not a scream this time. Instead, just the movie's theme, once again done by Akira Ifakube. It's a really good theme that I actually found myself humming at one point. In fact, all the music is really well done. I gotta say, this is one of the best scores for any of the movies that we've reviewed so far in this sort of Toho extended universe. It cuts to a spaceship launching into space with a narrator blathering on about space or whatever. I don't care. This is a cool miniature. It's never explained how this is tied into the plot at all, but it's a cool miniature. This is just here for no reason. I guess sort of just a scene setter, but like, the point of a scene setter is to set the scene of the place the characters live in. This just tells us the movie takes place in the present day of the 1950s. So, like, what's the point? I don't know. It's just a weird scene. I don't understand why it's here. Cool miniature, but I don't understand it. It then cuts to a group of scientists, once again. Seriously, how many times have I said that when reviewing one of these movies? It's like the only characters Toho can come up with are scientists and the most useless militaries money can train. I swear, the stereotype of military grunts eating crayons must have come from Toho's depiction of the Japanese self-defense force. Anyway, the scientists have found some butterflies, normally located in Siberia, hanging around in Japan of all places for some reason. Siberian butterflies, at this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, entirely localized within your laboratory. May I see it? Oh! They're dead! You killed them! Oh! The humanity! The head scientist says he sent two men to investigate the small town of Iwaya, where the butterflies were found. It cuts to the two researchers, driving into the town, where the locals don't really seem to like them. They drive into the forest outside of town and stop when they hear a rumbling that they think is an earthquake. Oh, sorry, that was me. I haven't eaten in a while. No, but seriously, I would turn back if I were you. Well, they don't, and they keep driving. They find the butterfly they were looking for, and take it for study. However, it's dead, because they killed it, because he put it in his pocket. So that's another butterfly for the body count. But I guess in a form of vindication towards the butterflies, the two researchers get killed by a giant unseen monster. It cuts to the scientists again. Here we meet our protagonists, Kenji and Yuriko. Kenji is one of the science guys, and Yuriko is the sister of one of the men that died to the mysterious monster. Yuriko says she plans to investigate, but Kenji says it's too dangerous. Another man, Horiichi, a photographer, says that he will make sure that she's safe, and Kenji just straight up tells him he looks like he can't, and says he will join them to make sure they're alright. Dude just straight up said, "You are weak and I'm coming with you whether you like it or not." Emotional damage! They make the trek through the forest and get spooked by a kid wearing a mask. This mask is supposedly of Baradagi. The kid's name is apparently Jen, and while asking him where Iwaya is, Baradagi, now confirmed as the mysterious monster from earlier, screams, and Jen takes the group to town, where they walk in on a ceremony to ward off Baradagi. The man leading the ceremony comes over and tells them to leave, as the last 2 men who came from Tokyo were killed by their god, Baradagi. Kenji then tells them that their religion is fake, and offends the shit out of the dude. This man has no chill. This man is the furthest from chill one can get. First he calls a dude that he's never met before weak just by looking at him, and now he goes in for a punch with the smarmy look of a Reddit junkie. Hot damn! Then they hear the scream of Baradagi, which Kenji is convinced is a fucking bird of all things, by the way. Well, the scream scares away Jen's dog, Chibi, and because none of the townsfolk are willing to save the little shit because he's left city limits, Kenji, Yuriko, and Horiguchi have to go save him. Although, Jen's mother does prove that she is saddened by the fact that her kid's probably dead, by shaking the fence and screaming like fucking Eric Andre.
Let me in! Let me in!
Kenji and Horiguchi get separated from Yuriko in a bunch of fog, so they go back to the townsfolk to ask for help in finding her. They then proceed to convince the entire town, except that one ceremony guy, to go into the foggy forest of certain death and help them find the kid. But what was the point of that scene? What was the point of them not doing it if they were just going to do it like 2 minutes later? I can't tell if this is padding or just bad writing. I feel like if a snake oil salesman came in and tried to sell them Sam's murder juice, which will automatically kill you at the point of drinking, if it could maybe help with, like, some guy's lymphoma. I feel like they'd immediately buy it. Just, yes, 20 bottles for me and my children. What is with these townspeople? Why are they so easily convinced of things? Are they inbred? Are they just really stupid? What was the point of that scene? That's dumb. Anyway, they find Yuriko and that kid who just leaves the story. He has no plot relevance. He's just here to move the plot, by the way. But they also find not Baradagi, but instead Varan, or as he's called in the movie, Baron. I'm assuming much like Rodan and Radon before, the name was changed because Baron was already a word in the English language. Well, anyway, everyone runs away, and the old man from earlier tries to ward off Varan, only to get himself killed. I love Varan's design. He's very original and fun. His eyes glow using built-in lights, his scales were based on peanut shells of all things. Katsumi Tezuka played Varan in all the scenes with him in the water, while Haru Nakajima played him on land. I'm starting to see the trend that these two will become the dynamic duo of Godzilla and other Toho-related monster movies. These guys are the Batman and Robin of suit actors in Japan. Varan then starts wrecking up the place and destroys the town. Everyone seems to be able to get out, though, safely, so I guess no deaths. Kenji, Yuriko, and Horiguchi go back and report their findings to the other scientists, who deem it as a Varanopode, some kind of prehistoric lizard thing. The military then walks in and says that they're here to kill the beast and decide to lure it out of the water, where it lives to kill it. But since we're not even a half hour into this thing, you know that's not gonna fucking work. When the military comes through to kill the monster, we get some comically sped up shots of tanks rolling in. Anyway, so after everybody gets back to the village, they launch chemicals to, I guess, piss Varan off and make him come out, in the process killing 7 fish, and then Varan pops his head out of the lake. The military tries to shoot at it, but like always, it does nothing.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Everyone runs away, but Yuriko gets pinned underneath a tree, and Kenji has to go back and save her. He does, and Varan chases them, flipping a military vehicle in the process. I don't think anyone actually died because everybody was back at the base, and also Yuriko was the only one not there. Also, that truck that burst into flames has set the whole damn forest ablaze. Yuriko and Kenji hide in a cave, but are still being hounded by Varan. So the military, with the help of Professor Sugimoto, the butterfly killer from earlier, draw Varan away using some flares, Godzilla style, which I'm pretty sure just reuses the same shots of flares from Godzilla raids again. This was the first monster movie by Toho that heavily used stock footage, so I'd say it's a safe bet. Varan then runs away from the forest that is absolutely engulfed in flames. Looks like some kind of gender reveal party fuck-up. Varan then flies away like a goddamn squirrel. Yeah, this bitch can fly! It's got these sort of skin flaps on the side that kind of look like bat wings, and he can glide away. It's pretty cool. Would have been a really cool surprise if it wasn't spoiled by the damn poster. Now the military has set an anti-Varan defense force and are searching for him. The military and scientists decide to basically just nuke the shit out of Varan with the strongest stuff they have. Just go full scorched earth on him. Meanwhile, Varan's looking for a little snacky snack and decides that these 3 fishermen in another boat would make a lovely second breakfast. Since that second boat seems to be around the same size, let's say 6 people total have died to Varan. After this point, the movie really starts to go downhill. It's basically just one big, never-ending battle of noise. That's also like 30% stock footage from Godzilla and Godzilla Raids Again. Prepare to watch the most boring 30-odd minutes of your life where fuck all happens. The music is good, at least. The military then finds Varan and starts absolutely just nuking the crap out of him. However, he does take out a bomber plane. This looks closest to something like a B-25 World War II bomber, which held about 5 soldiers, so I'll put 5 deaths on the tally. Then the military sends in the boats, while Horiguchi and Yuriko go to take a helicopter to get pictures of Varan. However, the airport is closed, so they can't. It's like, what was even the point of that scene? They don't even actually go to the helicopter. They just talk for a bit and then basically say, never mind. Is it even padding if it's less than a minute? Like, what was that? The military then decides to use depth charges to kill the beast, as it seems their scorched earth method is working since Varan is in fact injured. They launch the depth charges, and much like the last 5 minutes of Rodan, it's just noise. Just a constant barrage of explosions to a point where it becomes boring in spots. Like, we get it. You spend most of your budget on firecrackers and pyrotechnics. See what I mean? It's just noise at the end of the day. Like, there's some variety, but overall, it's just there to pad time. Rodan did this shit, but I mean, that was only 5 minutes at the very end. This is like the last 30 minutes of the movie. Like, holy crap. Well, Varan starts moving towards the coast, and Tokyo is evacuated in some reused Godzilla shots. The military and scientists come to the conclusion to kill it with a special explosive the size of a stick of dynamite, but 20 times as powerful, and so that's what they do. They lure it out with explosives, which is a scene that lasts way the fuck too long, and then, when it reaches land, they just blow up a truck full of the explosives, and it doesn't work. In fact, all it did was burn the absolute crap out of suit actor Haru Nakajima. There's actually a long-standing rumor regarding that incident that Haru Nakajima got his goodie bag and candy can blown off as well. Did that actually happen? No. Thank you for the channel Firewood Media for enlightening me on this beautiful, stupid rumor info. Check them out, they have amazing content, as well as the Wikizilla YouTube channel and the website, where a lot of this information on these Toho movies can be found in the most easy to digest and comprehensive way to read up on more of these movies. Well, they blow it up some more in a pretty cool fight scene that reuses a ton of Godzilla footage. Then when that doesn't work, they drop bombs in its mouth and blow it up from the inside, since its hide is too thick to be blown up from the outside. Anyway, so they launch some flares filled up to the brim with bombs. He eats them and finally dies in a scene that reuses more Godzilla stock footage and kills 3 more people. Hold on, that reuses a bit that killed 6 people in the first Godzilla. Do I count 6 or 3? They cut it so it's only that 3 people die, but the original scene, 6 die. Ah, fuck it, I'm counting 3. Varan dies in a giant explosion. The narrator from earlier says a couple of words and the movie ends. Well, what did I think of the movie? I'll tell you in a minute, you bloodthirsty vultures. First, let's get to the death. Hey, look, I found my pointing stick. 17 men, 3 butterflies, some fish, and 1 Varan died in Varan the Unbelievable. I'll give the coolest death to those 5 guys that got their plane done wrecked up, and the lamest death will go to those 3 stock footage guys, because we already counted those in the first Godzilla. Anyway, back to review. Well, what did I think of Varan the Unbelievable? It's unbelievable they would make this movie! The first half is great, but the second half is fucking boring as hell, nothing happens! You know that scene at the end of every slasher movie where the characters inevitably end up running through the woods, getting picked off one by one by some guy with a hockey mask or a chainsaw or what have you? Well, imagine that as the entire movie. It is just characters running around from place to place to place, getting chased with Varan, place to place to place. Nothing happens. The first half, again, great. It's fun. I liked it. But then, it just slowly peters off a fucking cliff. Nothing happens. Each explosion is more repetitive than the last. It's just noise. Noise, noise, noise. Nothing happens. It's just a constant barrage of noise. Again, the first 50 minutes I was like, hey, this is pretty good. But then you get to the end and you're just sitting there like, wow. They really had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Man, Toho really screwed the pooch on this one by making it a feature-length film instead of a TV movie. In fact, the version of the DVD that I have comes with a 58-minute cut that was meant for TV, restored in all of its glory. No wonder why this movie feels so drawn out. Even Ishiro Hana, the director, thinks it sucked because it was so drawn out. This thing is terrible! Varan is an awesome monster, plagued by the fact that he's in this horrible movie. Or at least the second half is horrible. Again, first half, really good. Fantastic music. Love it. Love it to pieces. If it ended there, you know what? Fine. Just have like a little 5-minute battle at the end. Coolio. I'm good. But no, the second half is so nothing. It's just nothing. It doesn't even get to fly, okay? On the poster, it promised flight. You wanna know what I got? I got a thing aimlessly walking around like a toddler. You know? Just... That's what it feels like. You're watching a thing with wings that can't even escape. It's like a rat in a cage. Except the rat has the ability to leave. Varan, again, awesome character. I love Varan. Highlight of the film. He only ever appeared in one movie after this. It was Destroy All Monsters. And even then, it's like a 2-minute cameo because his suit was all rotted and they didn't have the money to make a new one, or at least they were too cheap to make a new one. Varan has constantly been in other video games, like comic books and all that, and art for that it's official for the Godzilla movies. But every time he's actually been put in a movie, he gets absolutely just fucked by Toho for no real reason. Besides, King Ghidorah and Mothra are far more profitable than this Varan guy. What the fuck even is a Varan? I don't remember that. That's their logic with Varan. GMK, Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Mothra, giant monsters all-out attack, was originally supposed to have Varan, Anguirus, and Baragon fighting Godzilla. In GMK, it is just King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Baragon. I don't know why they kept Baragon. It's cool that he's here, because I fucking love Baragon. Baragon's an awesome monster. But I wish Varan was there. Or at least Anguirus. Anguirus is awesome. Why'd you cut Anguirus? Replace Anguirus with Baragon. You have, like, the main 4 monsters besides Mechagodzilla. That'd be awesome. But no, Varan constantly gets screwed. He constantly gets thrown out. You know the term, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater? Well, guess what? There's a new term. It's called, don't throw the movie concept out with Varan with it.